And one of the special things that we're able to do every year with Poetry Out Loud is we always invite back the winner from the year before to share with them what this year and winning Poetry Out Loud, going to the Nationals, and what this year has meant for them since winning Poetry Out Loud. So it is my great pleasure to invite to the stage Shamsuddin Abdul-Hamid, who was our 2010 Poetry Out Loud winner.
Hello. I'm very excited to be here. I was just talking to Alicia in the back and telling her that I'm just ecstatic and overjoyed to be here with you guys today. And today is a very special moment because I'm surrounded by Miss Sharon and Mr. Sanders and Miss Alicia and Miss Middleman. And it really is a special moment because I feel today a sense of amazing grace to have gone through this competition, to have gone on to the Nationals. It's just been a whirlwind this year. And so I just want to talk about my journey from the beginning with Poetry Out Loud. It's been a long journey getting here. It started my freshman year at the urging of my esteemed drama teacher, Mrs. Brazel, who said, "You're doing this poetry competition." And she handed me the book of poems, and I immediately flipped through them and chose the 3 poems that I wanted to perform in the competition. And I competed against upperclassmen in my high school, and I lost. So I said, I'm definitely not doing that again. But again, Mrs. Brazel, as all great teachers do, said, no, you've got to try that again because there's something there. And so I went back that summer and did as she told me and looked through the computer and read all the poems on the Poetry Out Loud website, and I was flipping through the book again and choosing which pieces I wanted to do, and I prepared these 3 poems. And in September, I brought them back to Mrs. Brazel, and I said, okay, this is what I've got. And she said, good. And then we started working on those 3 poems, and with her criticism and her tweaking me, we got these poems ready for the Poetry Out Loud competition. And I went on to win the high school competition, the regional competition, and made it all the way to the states. So as you know, the state competition is the big deal. This is where you want to be. So this was streamed live. So everybody in my school was watching, the whole student body. The custodians had stopped working and had started watching my poetry competition. The lunch ladies were watching it. The brothers down at the barber shop were watching my poetry competition. Everybody was supporting me in this competition. So I'm up there, I'm performing, I'm doing my thing, and the competition is over, and you know, you stand in a line, as you'll see today, and they announce the winner. And it isn't me. You know how you do, you have to smile while the other person wins. So I said, very disheartened, I said, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? I've done all this work, and again, Mrs. Brazel said, you've gotta go back and do it again. This time, come harder. Read more of the poems. Do what you know you have to do, and let's go back and show them. Okay? So I went back to the computer, this time more diligent, focused, really determined to get this thing right this time because I was a senior by then. So I only had one time. So I went back and again made it past the regionals and on to the state competition. And I'm overjoyed to tell you today that after 3 years of diligence, preparation, criticism, I finally won the New Jersey State Poetry Out Loud competition. Thank God, at last. And I tell you, performing the works of such revered poets like Philip Levine and William Shakespeare and Elizabeth Barrett Browning, performing these great poems really immobilized me to begin looking for other poems that I could perform. Because as you know, when you win this competition, everybody from the governor to beauty shops wants you to perform poems, and you've got to go and do it. And so I found this poem by Daniel Beatty, which I love so much. It's entitled Knock Knock. I see some people know it. It's from Emergency. One of the places I performed, and this was one of the most impactful performances I think I did, I was giving the commencement at an 8th grade graduation at South 17th Street School. And the principal had invited me to give a speech there, and I performed Knock Knock as a part of the speech. And when I was done, a young man came up to me, a young father, came up to me, and he was gripping his daughter's hand, and he said to me, Brother, I just want to tell you how much I loved your poem. I was just released from prison 2 weeks ago, and I made it here just in time to see my baby girl graduate from 8th grade. And that, to me, is why we do it. That's why we do poetry. That's why we recite. That's why this competition is so important. That's why this competition has to go on for years and years and years, because poetry is not just about the words. It's not just about what happens on paper. It's about speaking, delivering the words, standing and delivering. And when a poem works, as it often does, it taps you on the shoulder, gets all inside of you and says, see me, hear me, I'm here, I will not be ignored. That's what a poem does, and if you open up your heart to it and accept it in, I promise you it'll change you. And so today, performing for you, Daniel Beatty's Knock Knock. As a boy, I shared a game with my father. Played it every morning till I was 3. First, he'd knock, knock on my bedroom door. Then I'd pretend to be asleep until Papa got right next to my bed. Then I'd jump up and leap into his arms. Good morning, Papa. And my Papa, he would tell me that he loved me. We shared a game until the morning when the knock never came. And my mama, she puts me in the back seat of the car, and we go on this never-ending ride, on this never-ending highway, past this never-ending cornfield, until we reach a place of high, rusty gates. A confused little boy, I enter this building carried in mama's arms. Knock, knock. We come to a room, a row of windows and brown faces. Behind one of the windows sits my papa. I leap out of mama's arms and run towards that window, knock, knock, trying to break through the glass, trying to get to my papa. But mama, she pulls me away before my father even says a word. And for years, he has never said a word. Not a single word. And so all these years later, I write these words to that invisible father who was never really there for me. I write these words from the little boy inside of me that still cries and longs for his papa's knock. I write these words from the little boy inside of me that misses his papa's knock. And I say, Papa, come home because I miss you. Papa, come home because I miss you waking me up in the morning and telling me that you love me. Papa, come home because Mama misses you. Papa, come home because I done decided a while back that I want to be just like you, but I've forgotten who you are. Papa, come home because I need you. And there are some things that I need to learn, and I thought that maybe you could teach me. Like how to shave, how to dribble a ball, how to walk like a man, how to talk to a lady. Papa, come home because I need you here with me. I can't make it without you. And I write back to that little boy inside of me that cries and longs for his papa. I write back in the words of that invisible father answering my own cries. And I say, dear son, for all the lessons I failed to teach you, hear these words. Shave in one direction with strong, deliberate strokes to avoid irritation. Dribble the page of your journal with the brilliance of your ballpoint pen, and the world will know that you are here. Walk like a god, and your goddess will come. No longer will I be able to knock, knock on your door, son, so you must learn to knock, knock for yourself. Knock, knock down doors of racism and poverty that I cannot. Knock, knock on doors of opportunity for the lost brilliance of the black men who crowd these cells. Knock, knock for me. For as long as you are free, son, these prison gates, they cannot contain my spirit. Knock, knock with diligence for the sake of your own children. Knock, knock. For as long as you are free, the best of me still lives in you. Knock, knock with the knowledge that yes, you are my son, but you are not my choices. Yes. We are our father's sons and daughters, but we are not their choices. For despite their absences, we are still here, still living, still breathing, still going onward with the power to change this old world, one little boy and girl at a time. Knock, knock. Who's there? We are